I'm Deepali Pathak here, and today I'm going to teach you the special mechanism of fertilization and reproduction in plants. Student, post-fertilization events we have already discussed, in which we have studied the endosperm formation, embryogenesis, seed formation and its advantages. When seed formed in the plant, simultaneously the fruit formation also takes place. So fruit formation is also an important event in the life cycle of plant that we have to discuss today. Rather than we will study about some special mechanism of reproduction such as the apomixis and polyembryony that takes place in plants. Of reproduction, we will study about the apomixis, polyembryony and parthenocarpy. These are the different form of reproduction which occur in plants asexually, but they mimic the sexual reproduction. But first, briefly we will discuss about the fruit formation. The points of fruit formation that we have to study is that are very important. Students, fruit can be defined as a mature or ripened ovary. Means, suppose this is the structure of pistil in which ovule is there. So this fertilized ovule convert into seed, and then after fertilization this ovary, this swollen part of the pistil convert into fruit, that is the true fruit. So ovary, ripened ovary after fertilization convert into fruit, and the ovary wall convert into the fruit wall, which is called as pericarp. In this way fruit formed. The stimulus of fertilization not only develops ovules into seed but also bring about other changes in the flower. Means the other accessory part also shed off, and these occur during the post-fertilization event. Now student, on the basis of development, the fruits are of two types. These are the true fruits and false fruit. True fruits are those fruit which developed from the ovary, from the ripened ovary only. If ovary convert into fruit, then these kind of fruits are called as true fruit. The example of this kind of true fruits are peanut, wheat, maize and mango. You can see here in the mango, the fruit has different parts. Inner stony seed, that is endocarp, which enclose the seed, that is the inner part of the ovary. Fleshy pulp is mesocarp, and the outer covering is pericarp, or it is also called as epicarp. Different part of ovary converts into fruit. So these kind of fruit are called as true fruit. So it is clear to you that only true fruit are that which develop from ovary. If ovary involves in the formation of fruit, then the fruit is true, otherwise the fruit is false. The example of false fruit are apple, strawberry, cashew nut. These are the false fruit where the other part of flower involved in the formation of fruit. Here you can see the diagram of apple. This is the longitudinal and transverse section of the apple. So thalamus, which is called as the receptacle on which the ovary is attached, only that part develop into fruit. That is why the apple is a false fruit, because it developed from the thalamus, not from the ovary. Here you can see in the transverse section of the apple, the other part of ovary is there and the edible part is thalamus. So this is endocarp and mesocarp. So student, the fruit and seed formation takes place simultaneously in any flower. Fruit may be true or false. If true fruit is there, that develop from the ovary. If false fruit is there, that develop from other parts such as thalamus of the flower. Then seed formation already we have discussed. Seed is formed from the fertilized ovule. Seed is also of two types, that is albuminous and non-albuminous. And albuminous seed are those which consist of the endosperm. After the embryonic development, if endosperm remain in the seed, then that kind of seed are called as albuminous seed, such as maize. If the endosperm finished, it does not remain after the embryonic development, then this kind of seeds are called as non-albuminous seeds. The example of non-albuminous seeds are pea and groundnut. You must remember the example. The example of non-albuminous seeds are pea and groundnut. Albuminous seeds are wheat and maize. Then dormancy is also important process. It takes place in seed after the complete development of embryo. When seed formed inside the ovule, it enclosed inside the ovule by tough seed coat, and other vital activities stop in it, and the moisture contained of it, the water contained of it remain only 10 to 15%. It start to dry. Only food stuff remain for the development of new plant in cotyledons. When these vital activities stop in the seed, that condition is called as dormancy. We can define the process as the suspension of growth or internal inhibition of germination of an otherwise or viable seed is called as dormancy. Dormancy means when it becomes inactive. So dormancy due to the unfavorable environmental condition or immature embryo, tough seed coat, these are all the conditions which bring the dormancy in seed. So when seed reach distant places, when it get optimum sunlight, oxygen, water and favorable condition, then it start to germinate. Till then it remain in a dormancy. So after getting this kind of favorable condition, the dormancy breaks. What are these conditions? As I told you, many conditions are there which make the seed to germinate. These are the leaching of inhibitors and salts in it, then development and after ripening of embryo. If immature embryo is there in the seed, then it continues the dormancy, but after maturation of the embryo, it start to germinate. Development of growth hormones. Growth hormones are also required for the germination. Growth hormones such as auxin and gibberellin, if they start to synthesized, the germination start and dormancy breaks. Weakening of impermeable and tough seed coat by various means. Sometimes accidentally it breaks, but if naturally it breaks, germination starts. Now seed germination. How does it take place? Seed germination, when start, the new plants start to grow, start to develop from it. So after dormancy, the dormant embryo which is preserved inside the seed, it resume metabolic activities. Embryo start metabolic activities, start to divide mitotically and start to grow. It's the first step of formation of new plant. When embryo mitotically divide, the cell content will increase and the organogenesis affecting the plant growth or dormancy. These are the water, then sunlight, temperature, maturity of embryo, viability of the seed, and sufficient food reserve with the seed, oxygen, and most important factor, that is the red region of visible spectrum. Student, water, temperature and light, these are the most important factor which are required for the germination of seed. If these are available sufficiently, if they are available abundantly, then germination will take place properly. Then other important things are apomixis. Apomixis is the way of reproduction in plants which takes place asexually. Means it's a form of sexual reproduction, but it mimics the sexual reproduction. Apomixis is a way of reproduction which is asexual reproduction, but it seems like sexual reproduction. Why? Because the formation of seed takes place without fertilization. Apomixis is a formation of seed without fertilization, and there are different ways of apomixis. Apomixis, different ways. There are different forms of apomixis where the seed is formed without fertilization. How seed is formed without fertilization? When the fusion of gamete does not take place in the ovule, then seed will form without fertilization. So first way of this apomixis is called as adventive embryony. Adventive embryony means when one or few embryo formed from diploid cell of nucellus or integument. Student, do you remember the structure of this ovule? It was the nucellus where the embryo sac developed. So, egg cell or ovule formed inside the embryo sac, but if it does not happen and embryo develop from these nucellular cells which consist of sporophytic cell. So this will form apomictic seed. When this kind of embryo develop, they will form apomictic seed. Sometimes this integument also develop into an embryo. They also form the apomictic seed, and the process is called as apomixis. So this type of embryonic development is called as adventive embryony. Another form of apomixis, that is the recurrent apomixis, in which the diploid embryo sac is formed which has diploid egg. Suppose this is our embryo sac. Here the egg cell is formed due to the meiosis and it is haploid in nature. If in case it does not happen and the egg formed by the mitotic division, then it will be diploid, and this diploid egg will develop into an embryo. Then the process is called as recurrent apomixis. The example of it, that is the pea and allium. Adventive embryony takes place in citrus fruits such as the orange and lemon, acacia, mango. These are the example of adventive polyembryony. Another form of apomixis, that is the non-recurrent apomixis. Non-recurrent apomixis is that process where the development of embryo takes place from the haploid female gamete without fertilization. Means the female gamete inside the embryo sac will be formed. Meiotically means the egg cell is haploid, but it does not require fertilization. Only the egg will develop into an embryo without fertilization. Then the process is called as non-recurrent apomixis. The example of that is the grape. Grapes are the fruit that develop from the non-recurrent apomixis. Student, the apomixis process is very important nowadays because we can preserve seed or we can preserve this species for next generation, because according to the Mendel's law, the segregation of the genes or traits does not take place in them, and that is why the second generation will remain same as their parent, because they develop mitotically or because they develop without fertilization. So nowadays farmers are used to develop the apomictic seeds for development of the crop or for development of the plant, because people prefer the seedless fruits nowadays. That is why this method is very common in our society. Another thing, that is the parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy is the process of the formation of fruit. Remember, apomixis is the formation of seed without fertilization, but the parthenocarpy is the formation of fruit, not the seed, without fertilization. When fruit form without fertilization, then the process is called as parthenocarpy, and these are the seedless fruits. Because fertilization does not take place here, if fertilization does not take place, if fertilization does not occur, then the ovule will not convert into seed. So fruit will be seedless. So this is very popular and preferred method. The formation of fruit without fertilization, when occur, the seed will not form, and if seed is not there, embryo will also not there, because the fertilization is absent and there is no role of reproduction, and it can be induced by the growth hormone. Suppose this is a pistil, ovary, which bear ovule. When we inject growth hormones such as auxin or zeberlin into it, then this ovary develop into fruit. Now ovary develop into fruit means before fertilization, before pollination and fertilization, this ovary is developing, ripening into a fruit. That is why seed will not form here, because the seed form only due to the fertilization of the female gamete into it. So this is the formation of fruit without fertilization. The example of this kind of fruits are banana, pineapple and grapes. Parthenocarpy can be takes place by or happen due to the stimulus of pollination without fertilization, and may be sufficient to cause the fruit formation, and it can be induced by hormone. As I told you, the growth hormone is applied and then the ovary convert into a fruit. One more And last important topic, that is the polyembryony. It is very clear from its name. Poly means embryony. That is very important phenomena of the reproduction in life cycle of angiospermic plant. Polyembryony, here the name shows its meaning. Poly means many and embryony means embryogenesis, formation of embryos. When the formation of more than one embryo takes place in the flower or in the ovule of plant, then the process is called as polyembryony. Means the occurrence of two or more embryo in one ovule, that is called as polyembryony. How does it take place, student? Suppose this is a structure of a developed ovule. These are the integuments. This is nucellus, in which the embryo sac is embedded. When the cell of these nucellus start to protrude in the embryo sac, or sometimes the cells of these integument start to protrude in the embryo sac, they themselves develop into an embryo, and more than one embryo form inside the embryo sac, and these embryo are responsible for the formation of new one. So this process is called as polyembryony. Sometimes the zygotic embryo develops, and sometimes this nucellular embryo both develop inside the ovule. In this way, many embryos develop which are responsible for the formation of new plant. In this way, all these things occur in the life cycle of an angiosperm. Student, with this topic, the chapter has finished. I hope you understood all the things, you enjoyed the videos. So please like, share and don't forget to subscribe our channel.